All right, we are going live. I love doing these. Just make sure. Let's get everybody signed in here. We are live, I think. I'm just checking. Can I get some comments? Let me know you can hear me. Fantastic. All right, it looks like we're good to go. I'll dive in. Hope everybody's amazing. This is on. Do a live training today. It's on one of my favorite things, and I literally do this every day. And I'm really big into recovery, rest and recovery. These like twin cycles, you go as hard as you can, you pull back and rest, like a sprinter's model, because we want to play the long game with drumming. But if you ever seen The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, and he's got these shirts with the bull logo on the chest, and it says "Train Daily," and I love that. And if you've seen my Modern Drummer series of articles on practicing, it's something that I'm obsessed with. It's one of the four. I'll just share with you here, the 4 parts of the LTR drumming method. And because, man, so many times we can see this, we get into drumming, but we're just like left to like, I don't know what to work on. Is this the right thing to be doing? And I'm just obsessed with this, with the concept of practice. And that's what we'll go into today. Some tactics and strategies to work on what I call the 2 pillars of technique. So we're actually going to hit 2 of these targets today. So number 1 is practice. And you can see these 1% wins compounded. So that's what I love about the Rock's expression. They're trained daily. And there's something you might have seen one of my articles called the 3-minute rule. So this is like, even, Joe Morello said, I just want to feel the wood in my hands once a day. I just want to feel the wood in my hands once a day. So let me make the screen a bit bigger here. It's just such a great feeling the wood in your hands. And you can see the other big part of it is flow. And effortless technique is what we're going to get into today, but we really need to be able to come at it to like train daily and get the practicing in and know what to do. So as I go back to my main screen here, so that's what we're going to get into today. And this is called the 2 pillars of technique. Now, if you saw the last few live streams, you can go to my channel and review them if you haven't, but we got into each one specifically. So the first one is rebound. So it's just like, I've got my snare, toms, the floor tom's a little mushier, snare drum, very tight, tensioned, right? It's like like ice or something. It's the snare drum. It's tight, but and then the cymbals, of course. And the bass drum. So everything, all these surfaces have a rebound. Like for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And this is how we pull the sound out of the instrument. It's like the surface of my beater is kind of coming off the head, the hi-hat. It's kind of a different animal in itself, but I'm feeling the tips of the stick kind of glance off all these surfaces, and I'm playing this energy, and it becomes like a dance. And I'm not hitting the drums, and I'm definitely not playing into the drums. And it's always sad in like a school or a rehearsal space or something when you see these just poor heads that look like the moon, and it's just all these craters indented, and it's this kind of caveman hitting and me play drums and no, so that's not it at all. So rebound is when we play off the drums, and it's interesting, it's everything that's happening in between the stroke. That's what actually dictates our sound, and rebound is a part of that. So that's the first pillar of technique. And remember, pillars really like hold up a structure. So it's the foundation, right? So if you just imagine like two pillars holding up what you're going to be doing to have freedom and what you want to build, because we're literally building a cathedral of awesomeness here, and that's our self-expression. Any idea in our head and hearts and our soul, we can just play instantly, and we need these pillars to build a lifetime of drumming. Whether you just play in your basement and meditate and you feel great, or you're playing lit stages around the world, you're building something, and we need those two pillars. So rebound is the first one. Momentum is the second one. And momentum, as I think of it simply, it's like energy coming from my core, and it's going through my body and into the drums. So I'm not playing drums, I am the drums. I become the drums. And that's what momentum is all about. It's like my energy's flowing through my body uninterrupted. So momentum is a flow of energy uninterrupted that gains power as it goes. A flow of energy uninterrupted, so no tension is blocking it anywhere in our bodies. It can just flow into the set, and the drums almost like catch that. And that's what creates our personal sound, which is like our fingerprints, so unique, right? And what blocks a lot of drummers is not having these pillars. So just imagine the stick is not flowing, you're playing into the drums, you're choking your sound, you're interrupting that energy. And if there's any blocks of the energy coming out of you, anything that's getting in the way of your momentum, think like an ocean wave, just like a wave of energy that the drums and cymbals are catching through the feet and the hands. If anything's in the way of that, it makes the effort go up times 10. There's tension, there's tightness. You start getting stuck in your head. And then, I can't believe I played that, and this isn't feeling good, and I suck. And you start to get stuck in your head, and you can't get into the movement. So we want to get out of our head and into the movement. And how do we do it? With these two pillars. So super fast review. I went into each one in the last two live streams. Check that out. Watch the replays. Now let's get into some exercises of how we would blend those together and actually apply them to train daily. Where's the rock at? Dwayne Johnson, train daily. I love that. And yeah, even if training daily sometimes can be just being inspired by some Mozart or just a nice little jam or something, playing to a tune. So remember, feel the wood in your hands. And yeah, we really need to enhance these two pillars daily, fire up those neurons. It's strengthening the fundamentals. These 1% wins compound over time and just turn you into a drumming machine for decades, where you literally get better every year. And just help you float around the kit, get into flow states, get in the zone, and relax. So let's get into it. Now, there's something called, now if you're just starting out, this is all new to you, just get the basic premise of what this is. So like the stick bounces, feel that bouncing in your hand. And then to get the momentum, I need to move like a wave. So whether it's a big wave or just a tiny wave in a creek or an ocean tidal wave crashing down, I'm thinking of my body as a wave. And I was just watching Chad Smith yesterday, and man, he's like a wave. He's smiling and just, And then you watch some light jazz drummers that are using this, like smaller waves, but they're using these two premises. So if they're new to you, just get the basic idea and the premise of it. And if you've been doing this a while, there'll be some advanced tactics to help your overall strategy. So the first thing I do when I sit down is I do something called pumping motion. And if you're in my program, you're doing the LTR drumming method, you know what this is. I'll demonstrate it right now. So once I've got that momentum, and I like to do this first because it's like a dance, and I'm tapping into my groove and dance and just good feeling of expression. And there's a quote I put in my book from Esther Perel. She's a relationship expert, and she said this mind-blowing idea. She said, like, you can't be sad when you dance. And that's really cool. So if you think, like, you could be sad when you write, you could be sad when you paint, you could be sad gardening or something, whatever, cooking. But when you're dancing, your body won't let you be sad. Your physiology, the hormones and chemicals, and the flow you get into, you literally can't be sad when you're dancing. That's pretty cool. What is drumming? It's dancing. We just got sticks in our hand. And that's why I like to start out with what's called pumping motion. It gets me grooving, it gets me dancing. And we're basically going to think in 2s, 3s, and 4s. Okay, so I'll start with 3s, and I'm just getting that flow. This is called the molar stroke, but we're just going to call it a wave. Just think of it as a wave right now. You can watch the past live stream for some details. Wrist is coming up, tip of the 6 heavy, really loose, kind of feeling that in the back of my hand. That's all I need, by the way. A lot of people like cracking, getting a big stroke, even a bit of elbow in there. If this is my pad, obviously, but if this were an actual snare drum, man, that would be like knocking people over. Like, you don't need, even just with this, that's actually too much. So right here is like, that's a nice big sound on the drum. Think of just a speaking voice. Hello there. Just right. Hello. I can go up if I need to, and I can take it down. But right here is the default. That's what I'm going for here. Now, if I catch that momentum and allow the stick to rebound a bit, I can go what we call down, tap, up. Now we don't have too much time today, so I'm just gonna coast through this and skip over a lot of the details. If you're in the LTR drumming method, this is where we get into these finer details. You go into the book, the exercises, all that stuff. I'm just going to give a general overview today. And we actually have a live workshop tomorrow, and there should be a link there. So that's going to be an hour long, and we'll get a little deeper into it. So that's tomorrow at 1 o'clock, Saturday. That's going to be awesome. Jump on. That's a free live workshop training. I love to do these. Anyway, back to this. So I'm going to go in 3s. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm just catching some free taps there. So I had this. You see the motion is the same. Breathing. And what a lot of drummers do is miss the feet here. So I'm just going to tap on my hi-hat so you can actually hear the feet. But if let's see if I get my foot on the floor. But when I'm on the floor, I'm, might be tapping my heel, might be just getting my leg going up and down a little bit, simulating the pedals. But we need to feel drumming from the feet up. We need to feel drumming from the ground up to be centered and grounded. So what I see a lot of drummers do is like, they're starting this. See how I'm like hands man right now? Just nothing low, nothing from the hips down at all. But if I'm like, okay, where's my pulse? So I'm feeling, so my heels are just tapping like that on the ground. I'm literally just feeling that pulse. Deep breaths, other one. Now I'm watching myself on the screen and throwing any questions in the chat, by the way, if you want. But this is kind of like a mirror. So sometimes even when I practice, I might put on Zoom just on its own so I can see myself. I also have mirrors in my studio. So watch yourself, see what's going on. You know, if there's anything funky going on. Oh, my pinky's flying off. What's going on with that? You want to stay in this, it's called the natural position. So that's triplets, right? Now, just for time, I'm going to go to the other ones. So 2, just thinking eighth notes. I could double that. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Switch hands. Now, I've been doing this a lot of years. Again, we said if you're just new to it, just try to get the general. You might just have this. Maybe there's no sticks in your hand. Even just, okay, what is he doing there? Okay, I'm going to try to get that, right? But I've been doing it a long time, very used to it, but train daily. I'm still refining it every day. Okay. So 2s, 3. There's my pulse. 4s. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. One hand. You could slow this down. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. It's not a race, right? But eventually this is what allows me to play fast, effortlessly. And there is a way to put them together, almost like you could do them simultaneously, which is like this. But if I link them like this, so if I take away one hand, same thing. So there's lots of ways to do that, but I don't do this right away. I just want to get that one hand at a time. So there's the pulse, by the way. You can move it around. Okay, so this is kind of what I'm getting at. Once you've got those 2s, 3s, and 4s, and you've really spent some time with it, there's like grooves you can come up with. You can play what's called displacement and permutations. David Garibaldi and Steve Gadd get way into this, where you move the accents around. There's all kinds of really cool stuff. But notice that it's grooving. It's joyful. I'm refining. It's like a chef that's sharpening their knife. And I'm just tweaking. Oh, my pinky's coming off a little bit today. Can we refine that? Let me find center. Always find center. Now, a little bit advanced, I'm just going to throw an idea at you. Remember, 2s, 3s, and 4s. If those are my building blocks. 2s, 3, not even thinking of the time, 4. Now, there's something called Konakal, which is an Indian way to vocalize rhythm or to sing the rhythms. If you've never heard of this before, don't worry about it. I love to use it in my drumming, just the building blocks. I'm going to throw this idea at you. But even if you just what I call beatbox it, this beatboxing is just singing the melody of the rhythm. Beatboxing I love because there's like no right or wrong way to do it. Drummers are like famous for this, right? Right? And just YouTube beatbox champions. And I've been blown away. It's like, wow, here's one person with a mic that, like, why do I have this giant kit where this one person is doing it, this and a, so all the sounds with their mouth, it's like amazing. But anyway, you could sing the rhythms, which is so important to vocalize, not to count. We're actually not going to count, I'm going to sing. Now, if you've worked with me and you might, or you're familiar a little bit with Indian rhythms, 2 is taka. So taka, 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 taka. So I'm combining the singing with the 2s. Taka, taka, ta. You can beatbox it. Ta 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 taka, taka. 3s. Takita, 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 kita. You gotta breathe somewhere in there. Takita, you get lightheaded. Takita, takita, takita. 4, takadimi, takadimi, kadimi, taka. Deep breath through the nose. Takadimi, taka. There's my pulse, right? Now I'm creating a groove. Takadimi, takadimi, takadimi. Okay. Now, once I've got that, okay, so I'm just thinking like when I sit down, I just like pick a pulse. So I'll just do maybe what I did today. Now, again, I've been doing this for years. It's still the 2-pillar warm-up. And what I love about simplicity, simple's not easy, but we do less better. So I'm doing the same 2-pillar warm-ups as you. So are the greatest drummers in the world, but you can go real deep into what you can do with momentum and rebound. You create all this stuff, but it's still the same things. And if you just started drumming, you can still work on those same things. So it's the same concepts, limitless applications, and so possibility and potential is limitless. Same 2 things. I love that. So as I said, I've been doing this for years. I'm going to jump into okay, I might go into this. So there's my pulse, right? I'll just play it on my hi-hat here so you can hear it, but I might just tap this on the floor. Again, feel it rooted to the ground. Now I might move the accent. Taka dimi, 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 taka dimi. But if I'm going to create a groove, I can start to mix up 4s, 3s, and 2s, which is cool. So, taka, taka. So I'll go 3, 3, 3, 4. Taka, taka. Takita, takadimi, takita. Also, takita, takita, takadimi, takita, 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 takadimi, takita, 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 takadimi. 3, 3, 3, 3, 4. 3, 3, 3, 4. Takita, 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 takita. So I'm already starting to get into like a trance, starting to get into a groove. I'm creating music. And there's all kinds of lines with this. So just 2s, 3s, and 4s. It's pretty cool. If you know the song Clocks from Coldplay. 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, takita, takita, taka, takita, takita, taka. You can do pumping motion. Here's my imaginary piano. Make warming up fun. See, I'm playing music. So yeah, so I hope that makes sense. So I just go right away to what's called pumping motion. I'm feeling a pulse. I'm working momentum, refining my technique. So right away, I'm just creating music, creating a groove, and it's gonna just naturally translate when I get to the kit. Now here's, sometimes I do this to a song. If you're familiar with I.O., I love I.O. Check this out. So but if you're just starting out, maybe that's all you're doing, right?
Yeah, I be on another level. I'm so dope, I be illegal. I be on another level. I'm so dope, yeah, I be on another level. I'm so dope, I be illegal. I be on another level. I'm so dope, yeah, I be on another level. I'm so dope, I be illegal. I be on another level. I'm so dope, yeah, I be on another level. I'm so dope, I be illegal. I be on another level. I'm so dope,
So I'm just free flowing ideas, and I just got a neat little idea there. Like, oh, wow, I don't really know that yet. Let me work on that. I might see if I can get. I might pause the music and see if I can get that. So once I've done that, this could be like a minute or two, right? If I got to tweak something, sometimes just trying to find center, get loosen up. This really loosens you up too. You can see, and gets the energy flowing and the technique being refined. So okay, so ending with rebound. Now that was rebounding. Like you can see with the back of my hand, and the stick is very free there. Now so the stick was rebounding, but if I'm just gonna work on rebound, you can almost think of it like if you have like a drink on your forearm, and I'm just gonna use this wrist muscle. So now it's almost going to the front of my hand a bit. So it's like wrist. Notice like I'm not using my forearm. I remember when I was studying with Dom Fanvilero, he'd have this two sticks taped together and kind of put them over your forearm. So now I'm just gonna go into this. Okay, so just feel. So it's like I did the pumping motion. It's like end. I'm good. Now I'm gonna go into just some. Now this could look like free strokes, which is just a bounce. Watch the previous live stream if you didn't see free strokes. This could look like single strokes, slow, medium, faster. Notice it's the same thing. So I'm either using my wrist or fingers, but the stick is just bouncing. So it's literally like I'm dribbling it. Okay, so I might do some singles, doubles. Now paradiddles paradiddle sticking without. Now I can see my pinky flying out, so I gotta practice that. Singles, doubles, paradiddles. Anything from, if you know, stick control, just different combinations of rights and lefts. Just one hand at a time. Again, if you're just starting out, maybe it's just this, or maybe it's free stroke, but you're getting that. It's, by the way, it's different muscle groups. So we call this in the LTR drumming method, MTA, muscle target awareness. Athletes are big into this. Is it my shoulder? Am I feeling my hip rotate if I'm throwing a punch? If I'm dancing, am I on the balls of my feet? Like, what's working, right? So drumming isn't just like beating like that monkey, right? So it's different muscles, right? So when I was doing part one, different muscles working. Now I'm just, and that first way I had to be conscious of the stick, like it's kind of in the back of my hand a little bit, loose in the front. Now I'm shifting to this, wrists and finger, where might be a bit of fingers, might be a bit of wrist, but I'm gonna be transition so I can feel different muscles working. Now, singles, doubles, paradiddles is fantastic. You could do some free strokes, that's fantastic. You could go into the book stick control, that's fantastic. Sometimes I just come up with a new pattern, but I'm trying to get this going on. There's my feet. And last thing with this before we wrap up today is the 8-7-6-5-4-3-2 warm up. And I like this one. So there's my pulse. I could go in 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're getting used to the different number groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now when you get to twos, do a slow to fast, because now I can switch the tempo to wherever I want. My heel's tapping, by the way. And then I'm into my double stroke roll, and then from there I can go into all kinds of things. So I'm warmed up now, and I've done the 2 pillars of technique. So if I'm on the kit, so you can see there, you could literally do them on the kit, those motions. Cool ideas. Well, now when I play a groove, I'm just comfortable, I'm flowing, I'm feeling good. If I'm gonna go for a fill, super simple fill. You notice that same, the stick is gliding off the head. And as I went to that other drum, I'm flowing because I did it on the pad. And by the way, last thing for today, I like to separate those. I like to think of the pad as like the laboratory, and I work on this, and this is like how a boxer would work the bag maybe, and then this is the ring. This is the place this is where I paint. This is music. So I wouldn't sit on the snare and just like da 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 da. I get that all on the pad, and then I rock it on the kit. So I hope that made sense. Let me know any questions you have, and we do these live streams regularly. Go to chrislesso.com, sign up. I got tons of free content. Do these regular live streams and workshops. They're so cool because they're live. Let me just check if there's any questions. I think everybody's good. And yeah, we do these regularly. I have a free one coming up tomorrow. So love to see you there. That's going to be 1 o'clock tomorrow. So jump on. And that's it for today. 2 pillars of technique. Practice daily, have fun, and have fun playing drums. I'll see you real soon. Take care.